Hi, I am Osman. I am an energy healer on a master level with telepathic capabilities, and I specialize in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, among other various physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. I am also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher. Be sure to visit my website yogawellness786.com for more information on my services. Also, all my therapies are natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. How to increase or improve consciousness? Well, sometimes, this is a term that is very highly confused, especially in the scientific fields as well as in regular conversation. And the term consciousness relating to awareness, and the awareness by default, every living entity usually by default has got some degree of awareness. Even if they are very ill and in a coma, there is some awareness, but not on the same level as others, because they are in a coma or unconscious, and they don't have a wakeful awareness. So they are in a state of very minor awareness, or a different type of awareness, because the quality of life is awareness. So arguably, this is not the ambit to define, or this video is not here to define, the technical details of awareness, but just to advise how to increase that awareness. So the default awareness that you are born with will not increase above that rate or above that range unless physically exercised in a particular manner that is effective and proven to increase its levels. So basically, a human has got a dormant spiritual energy that once you awaken the dormant spiritual energy and develop it, it then starts raising the awareness or increasing the awareness of the consciousness, and the capacity of awareness starts increasing. So its potential for the possessor of that level of consciousness starts increasing. So the potential is able to identify and notice a greater range of psychological capacities. So, for instance, you'll be able to think in a more nuanced way, and much more than you used to be able to do so before, and be able to identify and understand his environment that much better, especially understanding deeper intentions behind certain people's communications and actions, and that starts increasing, and is aware of the awareness of the environment also increases, and his range of the frequencies of reality starts increasing, because all that we see around us in the three-dimensional state is not all that exists. There is much more than what meets the eye, and that range starts increasing. There are various creatures that is aware of higher levels of understanding of what is around us than us. A good example is the range of colors by some of the insects, like the bee, is much greater than what the human could perceive, and that range starts improving also in the human, and he's able to see much more than the bee, as opposed to seeing much less previously. And with regard to the higher frequencies, so we are like a radio signal tuned to a particular frequency by default, and then we start turning by increasing the range. We start increasing the changing the frequency to which you can tune to. And as you change the frequencies, then it's like you change, it's just like how you have a virtual reality and you put on your VR lenses and suddenly you in a different world. It's like that. Once you tune to the right frequency of the particular um, level of existence where there is life also, then you are on that frequency and you observe that world, and you can go to higher and higher frequencies or lower and lower frequencies. By default, the human is around the mid range of frequencies, right? So how to increase it awareness, and this is why one of the tools that is utilized to do so is yoga, the practice of yoga. And within the practice of yoga, there are many potential tools that one could use, and the main one that is easily accessible to the majority of people is meditation. But doesn't mean it's the only tool within yoga, and doesn't mean yoga is the only tool that can awaken this awareness, right? There are also chemical ways to awaken the awareness of higher frequencies, but they are probably um, carrying with it some side effects because it is artificial, and yoga is considered a natural way. And there are other natural methods as well in other cultures that use their methods to awaken these levels of consciousness. So in meditation, why or how does one can one just sit in meditation and increases? No, it doesn't by default happen like that in majority or 99.99% of the cases, right? There are some rare exceptions, and there are various explanations for it, but let's work on 19 on the majority of the cases. You need someone who has mastered his awareness or has raised his awareness above the normal through either a master, having another master that helped him, or some other methods. And he is the one who can help you to raise it, because he will have to transmit some of his energy, higher frequency energy, into you to tap and awaken your higher awarenesses as well. So it's like planting a seed and or unlocking the trapdoor, right? So it is locked and sealed, and if you try on your own, it's going to be almost impossible for you to be able to awaken it, by will. So once the person, and he will guide you and instruct you on how to meditate, which is normally, a simple procedure. If you're doing mindfulness meditation, from the time your teachers unlock the potential, you will start increasing in your progress, and start opening up and becoming aware of the advancement of your higher levels of consciousness in degrees until you can reach the highest level. Hope that information helps you. Take care.